All right, kids, big 3, 2, 1 boom here, live, Energy Boom 101, live from the Gray Owl. Get ready for it, the patented pivot spin of the Gray Owl, the beautiful colors, the stylistic lines, the welcome glow of the Gray Owl. We're here in downtown Norman, which we think is booming. We don't have any evidence of that, but this is Energy Boom 101, the Confluence, and you know what that means? That means where crude oil and cannabis meet, there's a confluence. And where they meet, and get ready for this, these special effects are unbelievable, so prepare yourself. You got crude oil coming in from one direction, you can see, oh, there it is. You got cannabis coming in from that direction, oh shit. They come together and they fashion, they polish the lens of optimism and compassion through which we view the who knows. Anyway, we are almost a minute into this thing, and we want to give you just a simple update as you hear the bubble and the buzz of the boom behind you. We want to give you an update on what's going on. Now, the first thing we want to talk about and I'm going to go ahead and probably shoot this thing out the window because that's a nice, pleasing sort of look for you as you fall asleep. If you haven't fallen asleep by now, you will in the next 20 seconds. But earth-shattering news here is that in yesterday, we're going to talk about the cannabis end of the confluence, and then we'll get to the crude oil soon enough. But in yesterday's Daily Oklahoman, here it comes, get ready for it. As soon as I can find, there it is, boom. Yesterday's Daily Oklahoman, which means it was Tuesday, March 11th, they've got this lovely little headline, Colorado collects $2 million in recreational pot taxes. So you probably want to read this, but the gist of it, which I'll read to you some of the important parts now as you focus upon the downtown Norman, and that's, by the way, if I can get a shot of it. That's a pretty good little boom point you're going to see right there. Yeah, great shot of it right there. That's the Opolis. That's another little boom point. We're here looking out from the Gray Owl onto the Opolis. That's definitely a boom point for the boom to arrive. It's already there. We'll do a broadcast from the Opolis if they let us. Anyway, let me just give you a little update here. So, Colorado, and I'm just reading an article from the Associated Press by Kristen Wyatt out of Denver. Prepare yourself. Colorado made roughly $2 million in marijuana taxes in January. State revenue officials reported Monday in the world's first accounting of the recreational pot business. This is pretty interesting stuff here. You get a pretty good overview for what's going on in Colorado. The tax total reported by the State Department of Revenue indicates $14 million worth of recreational pot was sold. Now that would be for the month, I assume, since the taxes were paid for the month of January. The state collected roughly $2 million in taxes. So one could then, I guess, extrapolate or project, or whatever the correct word is, that if they sold $14 million worth of recreational pot in January and you didn't experience any growth at all, then you multiply that 14 million by 12 months, of course, you would say that they were probably going to sell 140 plus another 28, I don't know what that is, $188 million, something like that. I think that's right, $188 million worth of marijuana in their first year. I think I remember reading where they were projecting to sell 400 million, so let's just see what happens. I don't think anyone knows the real numbers, but anyway, this is all unfurling at breakneck speed, which is why you've got the marijuana mania going on Wall Street. We'll get to that, by the way, in just a second. But here's a little background. Colorado legalized pot in 2012, but the commercial sale of marijuana didn't begin until January. Washington State sales begin in the coming months. Okay, and there's interesting information in here about how the marijuana is broken down, how the state decides to tax it, where it's going to. It's all good stuff, but here's really the highlights. This is from State Senator Pat Stedman, a Denver Democrat, who, by the way, is serving on Colorado's budget writing joint budget committee, and I quote, "The whole world wants to belly up to this trough." So I think the point here is that the game is on, and all we're going to do now is attempt to try and create an understanding of it by just reading what we can find in these unbelievable archives. The forensic team that put this story together, it was unbelievable. They had to spend the entire morning looking for a newspaper, and then when they found it, they had to actually open it up, and sure enough, here was this article. So that's a little overview of what's going on from the cannabis side of the confluence. And which is why, by the way, prepare yourself for the greatest technology ever. Yesterday, now not today, but yesterday, the four-leaf clover closed incredibly high on Wall Street. As you can see, right here. This was yesterday's readings, but CBIS closed up 25%, for God's sake. Hemp was up more reasonable, 5%. PHOT, which is Grow Life, was up 20%, and then medical marijuana was up about 9%. So big day of inhalation for Wall Street there. And if you want to do some good deep breathing exercises to that, you prepare yourself, because it's going to be a bong rip on cannabis science, kaboom, and then you'd probably go with a nice little tug on hemp. And then, but here's the deal: you got to go right back to a bong rip on Grow Life, kaboom. So you're already done, and then you're going to finish it up with medical marijuana, and that's an 8% increase, folks. That's more than just a little nip. So you got to sort of tug. So heavy, deep breathing exercises there. I hope that aligned your chakra. In the background is amazing Buffalo Springfield. This is an amazing song off an amazing album, which is why if you're ever in Norman, Oklahoma, swing on down here to Gray Owl. They're getting nutty and crazy, trying to keep a cap on the boom, whatever that is. So letting you know that yesterday's four-leaf clover, which is the index of the four marijuana stocks we cover here, that they all advanced considerably, really brings me to the next point, which is a lovely article and that everyone needs to read on the street. Street.com, you know it, Jim Cramer. Anyway, this is by Charlie Billio, and it's really simple. Beware of getting high on marijuana stocks. Let me just read you the intro, and then you can go find it and read it, because you really need to read this in a nutshell. If you need proof that we are entering the mania stage of the stock market cycle, look no further than the action in marijuana-related stocks this year. So everyone knows that marijuana is in a bit of a mania cycle on Wall Street. But the beautiful question is, how long does it last? Well, no one knows. There'll be a few people that'll make some enormous fortunes, and there'll be plenty of them that lose quite a few fortunes. But it'll still, the fact that it's happening is amazing, because it points to one thing: a one-directional, robust growth, long-term trend. If you thought there was a long-term trend for energy, wait till you see the long-term trend for cannabis and all of the spin-offs. So the thing you want to take from this whole article right here is that right now it's completely in mania. It's treacherous. It's out of control. No one knows a whole lot. Sit back, watch it for a year. But even better is what we were able to uncover, and I shit you not, we actually found the four-leaf clover in this article. So that's pretty wicked. So I'm going to direct your attention down to the bottom of the article. By the way, we're not even 8 minutes into the hour on this one, kids, so hang on. But get ready. Bottom of this article, and I'm going to take you right there. It says, naturally, investors are looking for ways to capitalize on this growth and have bid up a number of companies related to the industry with colorful ticker symbols. Some of the companies are, and get ready because here comes the four-leaf clover: Grow Life, Hemp, Cannabis Science, and Medical Marijuana. So I feel like we got some street cred, no pun intended there, because our four-leaf clover index was inadvertently recognized on the street here. The whole point being that it's great to be able to watch the cannabis industry as it unfurls on Wall Street, and it's going to unfurl on Main Street too. The cat's out of the bag, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now that's the cannabis end of the Confluence, and there's probably going to be a lot of other great news. I tell you what, before we retire out, let's go and just look at today's Wall Street trading on the Confluence and just see if there's anything really big going on. And for the life of me, I'm probably too lost to find my Yahoo Finance page, so we may just have to scratch and say we're going to switch over to the crude end now, because we're only 9 minutes into it. And in yesterday's paper, there was this is a great edition of the Confluence. Why? Because you have yesterday's you have clearly the mania of the marijuana markets on Wall Street, and you now have our first chance to see the soft underbelly of the oil boom in Oklahoma City. CEO of Cantex Energy Corp faces lifetime securities ban. This is once again in yesterday's business section of the Oklahoman. I really recommend you read this, because these are the stories that you're going to hear about. Now, I have no clue as to the guilt or innocence of this gentleman, and I could care less. I'm simply reading an article that is going to give you a great look into the color of an oil boom. Here is the first high-profile story concerning alleged improprieties. I took Journalism 101, you sacks of shit. from the CEO of Cantex Energy, and it gets better because this guy's, well, let me just read the opening paragraph and then you can go from there. The Nichols Hills-based CEO of Cantex Energy faces a lifetime ban on selling securities in Oklahoma and a $50,000 fine from the Oklahoma Department of Securities for allegedly violating the terms of a previous agreement from the agency. Well, I would recommend anyone read this, and it gets better as you read it. It goes deeper, it's fascinating, and it's a great look at the soft underbelly of an oil boom. That's why this is a huge dispatch, not an episode. This is a huge dispatch live from the Gray Owl today, because we brought you the incredible story of the Confluence, not only the marijuana on Wall Street, so the mania of cannabis, but we've also brought you the first really good seedy underbelly story about the boom and what can go on there. So please, once again, read this. Now, what's coming? What's next? What's the next dispatch, kids? We'll look and see. There's tons of crude news. So prepare yourself. The next dispatch will probably be some crude news. But before we go, because we've got some time and you know it, and you love it, and you need it, I'm ending it on Oil Patch Jazz. We're going to go straight to the oil logs, which I can find right here. Prepare yourself. I'm going to switch hands, which is only done once every few years. And then we're going to look at, let's see what we got here. This is going to be a very delicate way to balance real life, but this will all make sense later on. I'm going to give you a shot of, we'll give you this shot. And I'm just going to read these. Alfalfa ARP, Oklahoma, I got you 87 barrels a day. Chesapeake up there. Alfalfa remembers northwestern Oklahoma. Chesapeake's hitting one up there for 335. In Canadian County, Devon got one for 98 barrels a day. Carter County, you got Citation at 7 barrels a day. Mac Energy at 3. Another Mac at 40 barrels a day. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Grady County. Now, Grady County is, I believe, Chickasha, home of the Fighting Chicks. This is Continental Resources. This is Hank Ham. He's pounding the ground, and it's coming out at 197 barrels a day, so ain't nothing wrong with that. He'll probably want to increase that. Speaking of ain't nothing wrong with that, hello. But seriously, folks, let's get back to what's happening here. K County, PetroQuest Energy, popping one. Oh, it's a dry hole. Wow, that's interesting. Doesn't happen too often. PetroQuest Energy. Kingfisher County, you got Longfellow Energy, 212 barrels a day. Shit, that's not too bad, actually. Lincoln County, Calyx Energy. Now remember, Calyx Energy, folks, sold a lot of property to Aubrey McClendon. Hey, there's our Symphony of Shale at 12 minutes and 52 seconds into it. We found the Symphony of Shale because in the oil logs, we've connected crude to consciousness. There's Calyx Energy right there out of Lincoln County, and they sold a bunch of production to American Energy Partners. Now, these wells we're reporting here, this is 77 barrels a day. In Logan County, next we got Stevens Production. Wow, this is a strong one, folks. Logan County, now you know who's drilling there, Osage, so you got potential. But in Logan County, here is Stevens Production for 851 barrels a day. That's a hell of a well. And then right below that, you got Payne County, you got Calyx again, and this one's 122 barrels a day. Then you're heading out west to Roger Mills County. Great name, by the way. He's unbelievable. Roger Mills County. Chesapeake's out there popping them. This one's got 332 barrels a day to it. Nothing to sneeze at. Woods County, that's also still in the northwest. You got Mid-States Petroleum at 124. And then you got another Mid-States at 844. So there's two big gushers in today's logs. Both of them are 800 barrels a day plus. It's probably only going to get more robust. We're at 14 minutes, so I'm going to shut this dispatch down to let you know what's coming up. Intent to drill, Beckham County, you got Lynn, you got Cimarex, you get, holy shit. In Creek County, there's an oil company called Les Gibson. Now that could be like Les Gibson guitar, holy shit. Les Gibson. You got Mid-States, you got Husky, you got Marathon, you got Mustang, you got Midcon. So this is going to be fun. And this is it for dispatch, and we're going to call this one the Dispatch Energy Boom 101, the Confluence, and Colorado's Cannabis Capital. 3, 2, 1, boom, see ya.